Hi, Jacob.
Hi, Bart.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here. Growing season. It's now.
It's now. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The traditional belief is don't plant anything till Memorial Day, but the zone maps are shifting. So we see more and more folks being willing to plant their warm weather crops in middle of May, closer to Mother's Day, and that seems to be working out for folks. But what I don't think many people realize is they can be planting sugar snap peas and lettuces, spinach, collard greens, broccoli, things like that, some of those leafy greens that are cold weather tolerant and can even survive what we call a soft freeze at 32 degrees as opposed to maybe 29. So it's really great to see folks getting outside, getting excited. You know, we've got the big seed coming up that we are excited to help support with Together We Can Make a Difference. We've got a number of volunteer events coming, and our school garden program is in full swing. So we are actively in the growing season. We've got thousands of plants started. Things are off to the races for Grow Jackson.
I wanted to talk about one thing that I think is pretty important, is the need for support for Grow Jackson. You've done a lot of it on your own, but you need help. You need volunteers, and you need financial support.
Absolutely. So growjackson.org is the best way to learn about what we're up to, best way to sign up for volunteer events, and the best way to donate. And you're absolutely right. This is a critical time. Many nonprofits are feeling extra strain this year, so any amount of support is incredibly helpful. People always ask me, well, you know, how much of the donations go to programming? And I say, well, all of it goes to programming. Certainly we pay our staff members, but if we don't pay staff members, we don't get the work done. So, you know, all of the money is going back into the community. It's creating local jobs. It's going to feeding kids. It's going to feeding families. It's going to putting these gardens in where we end up serving thousands of people throughout the year in our community events, our school gardens, our community garden programs that we host. We end up impacting thousands of people and probably close to, I would say, 1,000 unique families in the various different programs that we have. So the dollars go a long way, and they are super critical right now.
Yeah, that really is right. It has grown to a point where your families have learned a lot. They've become growers themselves, but so many are dependent on what the gardens are growing every year.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that it's been really great. You know, this is our 5th growing season, and we turned 5 in October. And so it's been so cool to start to see, you know, we're watching kids grow up. We've been kids we started programming with in kindergarten are now the oldest kids at the school at St. Mary's Elementary. I know you just had Father Tim here. And so it's been great to kind of see kids come behind it, to see families get involved, and to be so impacted. And you're right, you know, we're growing thousands of pounds of food. When we grow that food, it goes onto our community sharing shelves and is usually gone within, 8 or 9 hours. Like, I stock food in the morning, food's gone in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And people always say to me, well, are you worried about, where the food's going? And I say, absolutely not. Right? We trust the community. We trust the neighbors of the garden. We know that there is a need out there. We see it every single day. So we feel very lucky to be going into our 5th growing season and to be in this community and to have so much support.
It really has changed as we see some of the photos that you have from the middle school at Parkside. The first year, you would plant these community gardens, and people were kind of curious, what's going on there? And the plants would mature and they'd sit on the vine, but that was just the first year. Yeah. After that, it changed.
Absolutely. I always say that next year is our best year of growing, but it's true. We are always getting better. We're always improving. If you had asked me 5 years ago, here at St. Mary's, when we went from a grass lot to this garden, if you'd told me when we started that it wasn't going to be 2 gardens, it was going to be 20, and we were going to impact thousands of students. We're in over 60 classrooms. We work with every student at Parkside, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders at every Jackson Public School Elementary, Western Career Prep, St. Mary's Elementary, Jackson Catholic Middle School and High School. We have a garden here at Andy's Place. We work with folks at Segway. We work with seniors at Vista Grand Villa. It has truly become a multi-discipline, numerous different communities being impacted. And so we feel very grateful for that and very lucky for that.
Yeah, Brandon and I were at Vista Grand Villa when you were there. The seniors living there, that was their highlight.
Yeah.
to be able to grow and be productive and have something fun to do.
Something fun to do. People, I think, underestimate how enjoyable gardening is, right? We know it's good for the body, we know it's good for the soul, but it's, it's really good for the mind. Like, it's really therapeutic, it's cathartic, and it's, so wonderful. Every spring, I'm reminded of the joy that I feel when I get to see the magic of you put a seed in the ground and this plant grows, and just the whole life cycle. I've never lost that wonder. And so what I love so much about what we get to do is, kids have that wonder. Sometimes adults are like, okay, whatever, plants grow. But
Yeah.
kindergartners never get sick of how incredible it is to see something grow.
Well, that's interesting because you faced a lot of challenges and roadblocks over these nearly 5 years.
Of course.
And you have to seek funding over and over again every year. And there have been organizations, people that just haven't been, supportive of the organization's mission. So I was curious how you get psyched up every year.
Yeah, absolutely. One, I always say I don't know very many people who are 26 years old and are working their dream job. Like, it is to me such a joy to go to work every day, to get to be in this community that I love so much, to work with kids who I believe are, the future, and that it's critical for us to invest in the next generation, and to get to be outside, have my hands in the soil, to get to share food with people. Like, those are the things that keep me going. But the other thing is, certainly there have been plenty of people who haven't been as supportive as we would have liked, but I frequently find that if we can get back to basics, and I can ask folks, hey, are we in agreement that we want kids to eat well and we want people to have enough to eat and people to have fresh food? I've never had anybody tell me no, right? How we accomplish that and what we do about it, right? Certainly there's room for discussion and argument on, but I can look in every part of this community and see people who are in agreement, at least to start, that yes, we should be feeding kids, we should be investing in community health, we should be investing in fresh food, we should be making our neighborhoods more beautiful. And so we find that at least at the beginning we can get along with folks, and certainly there's room for growth and room for improvement, but it's been a great journey.
So it started growing season, now it's time to come on board, and you just go to your website if you want to.
Website, Facebook, Instagram. We've got a volunteer event this Saturday at the King Center to celebrate Earth Day, 9 a.m. More information about that on Grow Jackson's Facebook and our Instagram and growjackson.org.
Well, the name certainly is appropriate. You are growing, and it's great to see how much you've done and how far you've come in nearly 5 years. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you. Thanks
Good
for
to see
coming
you.
in.
Thanks for having us.
The founder and director of Grow Jackson, Jacob Inocencio.